I think the card's been changed around a bit today. They've had to do because of the short rounds, the short fights. Hopefully we might see some power punching here, some big guys.
Shout out Dave McIntyre. Craig, are you fighting? I am, but I'm fighting sleep.
Well, I'll tell you guys, I think Chris has had Craig in an headlock a couple of times this afternoon. So it's 1-0 to Craig.
Whoa, and we're off. He's just kicked it.
What's going on? What?
He just kicked him. He just kicked him.
Oh, kicking. Can you rewind that, Craig? Can we rewind that? They're back into it. Whoa. Back of the head, punching in the back of the head. This is savage. I mean, they're having to break them up.
Like they needed to tell the ref that was the back of the head.
This is becoming a bit like All In. The medic's in the corner. What on earth is going on, Craig? Yeah, he's got a swollen cheek. You see his cheek, Craig? He's got a swollen cheek.
Dances like a butterfly, kicks like a transit van at 7.
I'm just checking his eyesight.
Come on, fight on.
Yeah. Is he, look?
Oh, wow.
We've been waiting for this guy.
Sorry, mate.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice
to meet you.
I've come over before, because I'm with people. It's a bit rude.
Can you get between them?
Sorry, mate. I'll stop.
Yeah.
Either of us take a few.
This is kind of dancing.
After 3 shots,
Guys, welcome back. It's Bare Knuckle Scene UK. I'm James, and I'm here today with Gary Slator. Gary, how are you, pal?
I'm good, James. How are you, mate? Do you well?
Really, really good, mate. Yeah, really pleased to see you. And I know there's a lot of excitement about you as well with fighting and seeing your journey and how your journey is going to progress into bare knuckle. So I'm really pleased to be with you and to talk today. That's fantastic, mate.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on the channel, mate. There's a lot of coming from me in the future, like a lot.
Yeah, respect for that, mate. So let's take it right back to the start then, Gary. So sort of where childhood was, growing up in school, family life, and how things sort of started out for you as a boy.
So I grew up in a little town called Jarrow, little quiet town in Newcastle. I came from a working class background. Mum and dad, brilliant, humble beginnings. School life was great. School life was good. You know, I was into me football. I used to like do me boxing after school and stuff like that. And everything was all good up until like a certain point in my life when I was about, I'd say when I was in school, when I was about 14-year-old, and I found out some pretty deep news that just changed it all for me. But up until that point, James, everything was mint, spot on, mate. Had a brilliant upbringing.
So you said that it was sort of up until 14. So you'd done some boxing as a lad as well. So were you doing like boxing club after school? And
Yeah. I was at an amateur boxing club called Bilton Hall. Some great trainers there. Probably the best part of my life was spent in that boxing gym when I was a kid. So I've done a bit of amateur boxing there, and then up until about, I think it was about 14, 13-year-old, it all it all stopped and came crashing down a bit. I had a bit tough news. I found out on my own back, like.
So, what if you're comfortable talking about it, Gary? So, what was it that happened, mate, that sort of brought everything to a stop at that point?
Yeah. So, mate, it's crazy. I still don't understand why I've done it to this day. So, I've came in from school one day, and something just told us in my head, flip the wardrobe in my parents' room. I've done that, and I found like adoption papers. Obviously, found out I was adopted there, and then read through my full file and story, and I was like, "Fucking hell, wow!" Head was blown. And I think from then I just wasn't the same. I kind of felt like I didn't fit in. I wasn't like the other kids, and I hated myself. I had like a burning, like a rage inside of us, and I was lashing out on people and taking it out on people who loved us, and it was just a really bad time in my life. And I think from then that's when all my mental health issues started. Yeah.
I can imagine being sort of 14 years old and then sort of finding that news out yourself and going through that, like the impact that must have had on you at that point as a teenager must have been massive.
Yeah, it was crazy, mate. I can't put it into words. It just didn't sit right with us. I was going out every night, I was drinking all the time. Even at this is like 14-year-old drinking litres of vodka, fighting, getting arrested. Just wasn't in a good place. I started self-harming really bad. And then it got worse than that, James. It got really, really worse. I was about 17. This is going through all this as well. I got into like a quite abusive relationship, and I got stopped from seeing my children and stuff like that. And that's when it really stemmed even further. My self-harm got so bad. I was like in the hospital every other weekend, cutting myself to pieces. I've got a big scar down my face where I've slashed myself open with a blade and just missed my jugular vein. It was horrific, mate. I was going through such a bad time, such a rough patch, and it just, I still can't really put into words now how I feel about it. I'm just hoping that I'm well now.
I can imagine it's something that sort of probably lives with you every day, and it's something that you have to you have to cope within yourself, and you probably found some coping mechanisms that help you get by on a day to day. But I can't even put into words like how much impact that must have had on you at the time as well. Absolutely horrific. Did you manage to repair the relationships and with your adoptive parents, Gary, as well?
Yeah. Well, I kind of just I pushed them away because I wanted to know, like, why didn't you tell us? Why? Obviously now I know why, just to protect my young mind. You know what I mean? But now, mate, the relationship's perfect. It was just maybe a few years I was just angry with them, I suppose, which I really regret, because up until then I had nothing but the best from them. Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice to hear, mate, that you managed to do that. And I'm guessing it's people like your adoptive parent are the ones that you almost fought against and lashed out at, the ones who cared for you the most as well. That's usually the way it happens, isn't it?
That's the thing, mate. That's who I was lashing out at, the people who did love us and the people that were generally there for us. I was like, I was just off my head, mate, in such a dark place. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I had the other things going on as well, with like got into that relationship, which was toxic. Left her, fucking mate. It's been so much the past 2 years that I've had to deal with. The things is unbelievable. Like, well, like not so. I think it's exactly 2 years ago, maybe it's 2.5. I hung myself in my bedroom. It got that bad. My dad burst in just at the right time, cut us down. I was blue. Rushed into hospital. Well, when I woke up, that's when I kind of had like me realization, me epiphany, like, this is no, I've got kids. I'm going to be dead next time. And that's when I changed my life, James. This is when I really started pushing into my fitness and came across bare knuckle boxing, fell in love with it.
That's special, mate. So if we take it to that point then where everything sort of got bad. You were in a toxic relationship, but you started a family as well. You got children as well at that point. I'm guessing was that quite were you quite young at that point, Gary, when you first had kids?
Yeah, what was that? I think it was 18, something like that. 18 had me first one. Yeah. In the relationship was just poison. We're just constantly fighting, and I stayed for too long more than I should have, and I just eventually snapped, James, and I broke, and I couldn't take it no more. And like I say, I just came in the house and I strung myself up, mate. It was really bad, really, really bad. I just didn't want to be here anymore.
And that's there's a lot of people that will be able to relate to that as well.
Yeah.
Especially with the mental health problems, and then having those feelings there. And I've spoken to a few people now, Gary, who have struggled with a similar scenario, different circumstances, but the same impact. And they all speak up now as to how important it is to talk and not.
Oh, so important, so important. I can't stress enough how important it is to talk, because if you just bottle it up inside, mate, it just gets worse, and it eats you up, and then you end up acting impulsively. And I said it on the Simply Inspired podcast as well. Like, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. It can be fixed, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm here, and I've proved it. You know what I mean? It's crazy how much, like, I think people overestimate what they can do in a decade, in a month, sorry, and underestimate what they can do in a decade. You know what I mean? Yeah. Timing's a big thing. You just got to bear with the process, believe in yourself, and love yourself. But there is so many people you can talk to. There's so many options available now. But to anyone out there who is going through the same thing as I went through, please talk to someone. I urge you to talk to someone. Even me, reach out to me. I'll talk to you. I'm there for everyone, because I know how it feels. It's not nice to be alone with your thoughts, mate. It's probably one of the worst things ever, the loneliness. You need someone to talk to. But yeah, just reach out.
That's massive respect for that, mate. And what I'll do, Gary, is I'll add your socials as well into the description, guys, so you can see Gary's page. You can follow Gary as well. And yeah, very good of you, mate, to say that. And everybody that I've spoken to in the fight game, they're all very much the same. A lot of people, as we do in every walk of life anyway, we have our problems, but the fact that these men are overcoming the problems and then willing to share and help others as well, I think says a lot about everybody that I've spoken to from that point. So let's say then, Gary, so you're at the situation where obviously you had the terrible situation where your dad found you after the suicide attempt. Yeah. And then you said in hospital that was the point where you sort of realised now's the time to make a change in life. Yeah.
If I didn't, I would have, well, that was it. And I couldn't leave me kids behind. So I think it's literally a few days after I started hitting the gym. I started hitting it hard, hitting the bags. I started training MMA, back training boxing again, and then found a little interest in bare knuckle boxing, and it just took off from there.
So you've done MMA as well. So you got childhood, you'd done some boxing, and then and then at that point into adulthood, you were sort of having getting involved with the MMA scene as well. Were you still doing the boxing as well, Gary? Yeah,
just little bits and bobs. I was just getting back into it, just finding me feet again. Yeah.
So how did you then discover bare knuckle as such? Was it something that you'd seen videos? Was it something that you'd gone along to one, or?
Yeah, so I used to see all these videos, and I used to see like most of the traveller lads would be scrapping it out, and I thought that's a bit of me, because when I was young I always used to fight on the streets, and I was good at boxing without gloves on. And I grew up watching people like James Gypsy Boy McCrory. I used to love James. He's one of my idols, inspirations. And I just thought, you know what it is? I need to just taste it. I need to experience it for myself. And had me first one, mate. Fucking, it's bare knuckle or nothing for me from now on. Like, I don't think I could ever go back to the gloves. I just love the feeling, bone on bone. There's no buzz like it. And I think as well, James, another thing for me, it's kind of like my self-harm in a way. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
It's therapy, man, and I love it, absolutely love it.
You're not on your own, Gary. You're not on your own. I know Dean Taft Morris. He spoke similarly. His therapy is the gym and going and training and doing that helps him massively with his mental health. And the same, Andy Goodhand's the same as well. You know, Andy, you know, he's got his own demons, but the training and the fighting, and it's given him, you know, this. I don't know what you call it. It is like therapy, really. It's therapy because
especially Spartan. Like, shout out Christian Roberts, man. I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for him, because Spartan is a therapy group. Everybody in Spartan's battling demons, but we're all there for one another, and it's great. It's give me goals in life, something that I've never had before. Because if you had asked us 2 years ago, James, where I would be, I would tell you fucking probably dead or in jail, mate. Yeah. Now I'm gonna be. I know for a fact I'm gonna be heavyweight champion of the world, bare knuckle. I know that for a fact, mate.
And you're on. Yeah, I mean, you're on the journey. Let's talk about it then. So you'd gone. Obviously, I know you've shout out there to Christian Roberts and Spartan Wars. And what they do, because it's an absolutely fantastic platform, and what Christian's done to build Spartan into what it is today, I think is a massive amount of credit to him as well as a person and his vision. Massive credit. So how did you come across Christian and Spartan, Gary?
So one of my friends' uncles is actually a fighter on it, Billy Mason.
I'm going to interview Billy soon. Yeah,
Billy went for his first fight with Ben Waddington, and I seen it, and I thought, so I've messaged Billy, and I've been like, how do I get into this? He says, message a guy called Christian Roberts, and you'll sort everything out. I messaged Christian, I think a month and a half later, I was in the bales. So, yeah, that's basically how I found it. And then I started learning a bit more about Spartan, like it was originally set up the combat knife prime, which I think is fantastic. Setting it with these instead of put the weapons down. Do you know what I mean? That's how I found it, through Billy Mason. Yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah, Billy, and I am going to be interviewing Billy soon. Look forward to it. So you've got in touch with Spartan. So talk me through when was your first fight, Gary, and who that was against and how that went.
So my first fight was against Ben Waddington in the hay bales for the European heavyweight title. I think it was, sorry, Christian, if I'm wrong. I think it was Spartan Wars 13. I never, when I had seen the bales, man, you don't realise how small they actually are. It's an 8x8 pit. It's tiny. There's no room to box. Obviously, I'm coming from a boxing background. It's all new to me. So I've got in. Fights kicked off. I've been straight in there. Got him with a lovely left. Landed a few good uppercuts, but I slipped my guard down for a fraction of a second, and you know these bales, you've got to be quick. And I got caught with a clean right, broke my nose, clean fracture in half, and my sinuses swelled up with blood. I couldn't breathe and I couldn't go on. So I think I got stopped in just the start of the second round. I think that one was. Yeah, with Ben Waddington. Good fight. Shout out to Ben. Great guy, humble guy, and a brilliant fighter as well.
Really experienced, Ben, and name bare knuckle.
Yeah.
You know, he's had a lot of fights. So then, do we fast forward then to YouTube Wars? Is that right?
We got to YouTube Wars, yeah. That was the next one. Another great guy, I thought, Sean Wood. Luckily, all glory to God, I got the win in the first round by TKO. So that was my first bare knuckle win on my list.
I was there at that event as well. Yeah, I was there at that event. Brilliant as well. Another shout to Simon Kirk and YouTube Wars, because
massive shout out to Simon Kirk.
You know, for his first event, it was a massive success. You know, I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely great, and the fans loved it. Everyone that I spoke to there, the The vibe in the room was fantastic. Everyone had a great time, and the lads performed. It was a brilliant day, and I can only see YouTube Warz just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Shout out to Simon.
100%. Yeah, I completely agree. So let's talk then. Fight Fest 4, which is again, it's Spartan, it's Christian Roberts that sorted this one. A fantastic fight card.
Big fight card. Fight card. Some great title fights on there. There'll be some barnstormer of fights on that night. Some really good ones.
Absolutely. And for yourself as well, after just speaking, there's a bit of, there's one for you there, Gary, which is going to be, I believe, second to last fight on the card against Ben Waddington again.
The rematch.
So,
that's it.
Rematch. Yeah, the rematch.
And that belt's coming home with me this time, so we better know it's Ben. It's mine, that, bro. Listen, I've trained my arse off now for months. And I had to find my footing in the bales first, but I know how to get the job done this time. Saturday night, the European title comes back home.
Respect, mate. And all that I say with all the fighters and everyone is wish them all the best and hope that everybody goes home, safe to the families afterwards as well. Most important.
Safety's number one priority. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So how are you feeling now then, mate? What's your build up been like, Gary? This sort of last week or two leading up to the fight, training and diet and things. I
can't sit still, James. I'm itching to go. I'm ready to go now, mate. I'm ready to go right this second. I could go. I've been non-stop training. I'm in the gym twice a day. Literally weights for 2.5 hours, cardio for 2.5 hours, home rest, eating clean, drinking plenty of water, plenty of fluids, taking all the right vitamins and supplements. And I mean, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling ready, really ready. That belt's mine. I promise you, bro.
Okay, it's going to be fantastic to see, mate. Honestly, it's going to be fantastic to see. I mean, to be fair, like the fight card to me, the 17 fights there is again credit to Christian and the fighters that are involved, all the Spartan lads and everyone that's come in, because it is going to be a hell of an event. Absolutely. So for yourself then, Gary, going on then, if we look sort of forward slightly, because we've got the European heavyweight title coming on Saturday against Ben Waddington. Yeah. And then I know you were lined up as well with the world title on the 21st of October with YouTube Warz Chapter 2.
That's right.
And that was going to be against Jumbo Jack Gibbons, who now he's had a slight thing. Shout to Jack as well. He's actually going to train with Team Fury, Peter Fury's camp. So fantastic for him as well.
Definitely. I mean, I would have done the same. You can't knock a chance like that back. And I mean, I wish Jack all the best and nothing but respect and prosperity for his future. Chase your dreams while you're young. You know what I mean? Any man in the right mind would have done the same and took an opportunity like that. So hats off to Jack. No hard feelings. It is what it is.
No, and respect to you, mate, for that as well. I think, And any thoughts yourself? Have you got any sort of ideas or names in your own head that you'd like to step up to?
Who I would like to fight for the title? Ooh, yeah. There's a few. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say because I think there is talks of someone else coming in. So I don't know how much I can reveal yet.
So yeah, leave that then, mate. Leave that because we'll get to that in due time. I know the event's still quite a way off yet to happen. So how's life with you now then, mate? Obviously away from the fighting and your sort of family life. Have you managed to sort of repair relationships and things that were damaged in the past? Are you seeing your children now and bits like that?
Yeah. So I've got full custody actually now over my first child. Yeah. So I had to go to court and fight for him. It was a long process, but I've got him now. So happy days. He's with me. I've got another little boy, Mason. He's 5 months old. Beautiful little lad. Everything now is perfectly in place and in balance, and I can finally see my future on the right path, and I can finally clap for myself, James. Everything's going well, mate. I've got no complaints. All glory to God.
That's superb, and I can imagine as well. I had to spend a bit of time with family law court when I split with my ex, and I know how much it can take out of you as well. So the fact that you've been through that process to get your son, and you've got your son with you now, again, says a lot about yourself and testament to you as well. And another man who steps up and, you know, is caring for the child, because there's not enough of that gets talked about for me. You know, so all credit to it, you know, to a lot of men that do and do father their own children as well. So
well, you've got to step up and be a dad. You know what I mean? I could never be a deadbeat.
Do you find as well then now, Gary, that's sort of some of your best medicine in terms of the mental health and the problems you've faced in the past, your children and your family? And
yeah, definitely spending time with my children, and knowing that he's safe now and he's with me is just peace of mind. I can't stress enough how much my life's changed because of bare knuckle, because of everything now that I've achieved and having me kids, and I'm just in such a good place. It's only up from here.
That's fantastic. And so with that then, Gary, where do you where can you see Gary Slater in a year's time, and then maybe, you know, a couple of years on, so across the next sort of, you know, 2 to 3 years, because obviously you're young as well. You're young, you've got age on your side as well.
Yeah.
And a massive future within the sport. So yeah, talk me through that, Gary, sort of how you'd like to see the next couple of years pan out.
I'm 24. I mean, I've got years and years of this left in me. So next couple of years, I can see myself still defending the European heavyweight title in the hay bales, still defending my world title in the YouTube Warz in the ring. Who knows after that? Hopefully, bigger shows, and I'm not stopping until I get to the top. I mean, I quit my job and everything through this, just for this, James. You know what I mean? To chase my dreams to become a professional bare knuckle boxer. So one day, the biggest shows, world heavyweight champion of the world.
Oh, respect. Did you go out of interest, Gary? Did you go to the BKFC tryouts in Liverpool? Did you get across for that one?
I tried to. I couldn't make it. I got dropped in at the last minute. I was absolutely gutted. But I've messaged BKFC, and they've said there's another one coming up. So I'm not too sure about the date, but it's in London, somewhere in London. So I'll definitely be at that one, and I'll definitely be on it.
Brilliant. Because I mean, there are as well. I know, like obviously Taff fought as well on the YouTube Warz cards in the last fight, and Taff's got his fight coming up on the 16th with BKB as well, so he's going to make his BKB debut. So there's and the other thing that I can say as well is with Simon and Christian and the rest of that lads, it's a family really. Great people, mate, to have around you as well to support you and help you move forward. And you know, mate, I just think it's a great setup. To be fair,
everyone's there for one another. It's a therapy group. Everyone's battled similar demons, or everyone's battling them still, and we're all just there. If you'll see I don't know if you've noticed on some of the posts, James, one of the lads is having a bad day. There's about 20 or 30 Spartan lads, YouTube Warz lads. Anything you need, mate, I'm here. Ringers, there I am. It's a family group, mate. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I do see it, and I do, you know, with even just my sort of bit of involvement, but yeah, I do pick up on that massively, and you know, again, you know, that's something where that's obviously you've got Simon and Christian, but then it's the rest of the boys as well. So it's all you guys who are there as well that making it what it is, you know. So massive amount of credit to all of you really, and Yeah, I do, honestly. I know I keep saying it, but I do think it's a fantastic platform, and it's going to grow and it's going to get bigger and bigger.
Mate, I think the way YouTube Wars and Spartan Wars has grown, I think they're going to be up there with the best, if not the best, in the coming years, months. Do you know what I mean? The way it's growing. Yeah. Shout out to Christian Roberts and Simon Kirk.
Yeah,
hats off to them boys. They're really doing it. They're putting the work in. You know what I mean? It's stressful, but they're fucking smashing it. Like,
and I mean, as well, what's nice about it is it's nice for me. Just obviously, it's great to see the fights and see the fighters progress on their journeys and what happens with them. But it's also great to see how the platforms are and how they grow, and you know that interests me as well. So yeah, no, it's fantastic all round. And to be fair, there's other platforms as well that I want to get to see. I want to go to Olympus. I want to see one of their events. I want also Bad to the Bone. I want to go and see. So there's a few events as well and different platforms which I'd love to get fighters from different platforms on and talk about where they're fighting as well and get to see. But it's just the sport. It's an exciting sport. For me, it's the fact that any punch can end it. You know, I mean, and that to me is a big
game.
Anything can happen, mate, can't it, with bare knuckle, you know? So it's exciting. It's exciting for me. And it is actually, we were talking about it in one of the interviews the other day. It's actually a safer sport than boxing.
Because it's less impact.
Exactly. Less head trauma. More
I try to tell loads of people that, James, and they just have none of it. I've tried to tell loads of people that. It is true. It is. It's less impact. It's not bare knuckle fights don't go 12 rounds. You know what I mean? They're out quick, and especially in my division, it's like that. You know what I mean? Blink and you miss it. But definitely a lot safer than boxing.
Yeah, I mean lacerations, obviously, with it being bare knuckle, the cuts, you get more cuts and stuff. But
it's not as bad as brain injuries.
Yeah, it's well documented, to be fair, Gary. So keep arguing that point because it is well documented.
I'm telling everyone, mate.
No, it is 100%. Well, listen, Gary, what we'll do, mate, we'll start to wrap up. But is there anybody who you want to give a shout out to? Friends, family, any gyms, coaches, anything like that?
Shout out to my parents for being there for me support and me backbone. Shout out to Christian Roberts for changing my life and Simon Kirk as well. Shout out to you, James, for letting us get me story out and get me message across. Just shout out all the Spartan boys and all me bare knuckle brothers. I love you all.
They're all family as well now, aren't they? They're extended family. So,
brothers till the end.
No, that's brilliant. And goes without saying as well, your two boys, so...
Yeah, definitely me two boys, yeah. Definitely me two boys. Without them, mate, I'd be nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And, that is the biggest thing inside. I had a bad car accident. I suffer with problems following that. And my best medicine is my son. And when I'm with my son,
it just makes it day. Yeah, the kids do. When I see him, sometimes when I have been having me odd bad days and I see his little face and it's just changes me completely. He's both my sons are absolute blessings.
Yeah, it's magic, mate, isn't it? I love it.
No feeling bad, mate.
And
family life's
again,
the best life.
I want to say, mate, honestly, I want to say congratulations with fighting for your son and getting your son as well, because that is huge deal. So yeah, a lot of love and respect for that, mate. And I'm really happy that you're in a good place now, and you're actually on the right path and in your right lane, and you've got the love and support around you to help you move forward, not just with boxing, but with everyday life and growing yourself into the man you want to be and the man that your children can look up to as well, mate. So massive credit to you, Gary, for that.
Thanks, that means a lot, mate.
No, huge respect, mate. And what we'll do, Gary, you know, this won't be the last time we'll talk, mate. We'll obviously, we've got the YouTube Warz upcoming. I'm going to be doing some of the face-offs and pre and post fight on the day as well, with the fighters and have a bit more involvement myself with that and Simon. So really looking forward to seeing you again, pal. We'll have a good chat and we'll follow up, mate, and we'll talk again. I wish you the best of luck for Saturday with the European heavyweight title. Honestly, mate, credit to you. You're a top guy. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and we'll speak again soon, Gary.
We'll speak when I've got my belts, James. Nice one, mate. Respect.
I look forward to it, brother. Thank you ever so much, and we'll talk again soon. Cheers, bro. Thank you,
James. Thanks, mate.
Gary, cheers for that, mate.
Getting here, people. Gary Slator.
Yes, you know what it is. European heavyweight title. It's coming home today. Ben Waddington, first round knockout. I predicted it. I'm telling you, the title's coming back to Shields.
This man as well, people. Absolute top bloke. We've got our interview done. It'll be coming up this next week, but honestly, absolute legend of a guy. Trust me.
Everyone stop, yeah.
Right, here we go. Like a butterfly, hits like a try. Floats like a butterfly, hits like a fucking BMW Passat at 90 miles an hour. Come on, Come on, guys! Yes, get into him, guys! Come on, guys! Come on, guys, lads! Come on! Come on, guys! Stop! Stop! Come on, guys, lads! People, there's a bell.
Woo!
Fucking
First round knockout. I already said it.
That went the
European heavyweight champion in the bales. Come on, bro. Live.